can say in her voice, in her way, that she love me. With her eyes, with her smile, with her belt, with her hands, with her money. I am the thesis of her prayers. Her nieces and her nephews are just pieces of the layers. Only one she love as much as me is Jesus Christ and Taylor. I got a feature song singing for my grandma. You sing it too, but your grandma ain't my grandma. Mine's is handmade, pan-fried, sun-dried, southside, and beat the devil by a landslide. Praying with her hands tied, president of my fan club, Santa. Something told me I should bring my...
Please return all mail I received to the sender. It might be a very long time before I return south. If this adventure proves fatal, and you don't ever hear from me again, I want you to know you're a great man. I now walk into the wild. Page 69 of Into the Wild. These are the last words from Christopher McCandless, written on a postcard and sent to his friend, Wayne Westerberg, before he enters the Alaskan wilderness. I find these words to be quite meaningful to me. Perhaps it is a realization of the immense amount of potential danger he sets to face, or the actualization of his forthcoming death. Regardless, I'm glad that wasn't me who ate the poisonous leaves. But still, I am inspired by the life and death of Christopher McCandless. Into the Wild is a book written by author Jon Krakauer and tells the life and death of the courageous Christopher McCandless. Christopher McCandless was the son of a wealthy parent and a recent graduate of Emory University. He was a great student with great grades. However, instead of embarking on a prestigious and profitable career, he chooses to give his entire life savings to charity, rid himself of his possessions, and set out on a journey into the Alaskan wilderness. Within McCandless' journey, he experiences a flash flood in Nevada, travels to the Cascade Mountains, across the lava beds of the Columbia River Basin, and across the Idaho Panhandle, and he even paddles down the Colorado River. Moreover, along the way, he makes some friends with some quite interesting individuals. He meets Bob and Jan Burris. He meets Jim Galian. He meets Gaylord Stuckey. He meets Wayne Westerberg. And he meets a character named Ronald Franz, who wants to adopt him. Eventually, Christopher makes it into the wild of Alaska, and on May 1st of 1992, he decides to live in an abandoned bus. Along his journey, Christopher wrote in a journal with chapters titled Magic Bus Day and Beautiful Blueberries. Christopher McCandless died in 1992 by eating some poisonous berries. Although unfortunate his death, he lives on relentlessly through the remains of this journal, which has since been converted into a nationally best-selling book, an Academy Award-winning movie, and this video you are watching that was made by me. Some may say he was stupid. Some may say he was crazy. But I say he was brave, courageous, and wild. You now find me inside my home, inside this humble abode of a home. The reason we are here is because this is where I belong. This is my civilization. This is who I am. I believe that this is where my adventure takes place, with my friends and my family. We now enter my home to further discuss what we were discussing. I asked myself the question, how do I compare my readings to my experiences within this class? Well, I enjoyed the rock climbing adventure, although it was very physically demanding. I enjoyed the backpacking trip, aside from the backpacking portion, and I totally enjoyed the sea kayaking trip. Even so much to the point where I decided to enroll in the small boat sailing class for next year. I would say, how Into the Wild compares to those adventures is in that our adventures were shallow. They were commodified. There was a very low risk of dying or violence occurring, and you can totally sell those experiences. Where if I feel like if you sell the Into the Wild expedition, that you wouldn't make any money. I would also say, in regards to the readings we had in class, which was Endurance and Wild, that they were quite different from Into the Wild in the sense that Endurance was truly dangerous and those people were crazy for doing what they did and also crazy for surviving, but I'm glad that they survived. I would also say that Shackleton embarked on that expedition for research reasons, for science reasons, and to also become famous for what he did. Whereas what Christopher McCandless did was not for the reason of fame, science, or research. It was for the reason of self-growth and enlightenment and realization. And I just feel like he had to do it. Where I feel like that's more relatable to Wild. Cheryl, she did what she wanted to do because, well, she wanted to and that she needed to. She needed to grow from the person that she was. And she needed to overcome all of those struggles that she was encountering both internally and externally. So, in the end, I would say that Christopher McCandless' experience was quite different from the other experiences, which were experienced in Shackleton's Endurance adventure, and it was also more similar to Cheryl Strayed's experience within Wild. And I would not do an expedition into the wild like Christopher McCandless did. Bye. The last thing that I would like to discuss with you is my personal plan of adventure for my future. Now, this upcoming summer I'll be spending in San Diego. And an adventure for me is that I would like to learn how to surf on the Coronado Island of San Diego. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be a kind of anxious moment for me, but I can definitely accomplish it and experience that flow within the ATP model and also not be too shallow of an adventure. The other thing that I would want to do before I die is I would want to hike the Pacific Crest Trail, just like Cheryl Strayed did in Wild. But how I would like to do it is I would like to do it in increments, meaning that once I'm of the age, probably in my 50s, I will attempt to hike the Pacific Crest Trail in increments every year, meaning that I will go back there probably once every year and hike for 10 miles. And then I'll just keep doing that every single year until I finish it. So that's my personal plan for adventure. I learned a lot from this class and I'm so thankful for the awesome professor and adventures out there, so look for it. Thanks for watching my video.